enough, and he's actually forced to lose his Thor a second time. Huge loss for PainUser, who really favors that Thor build. Right now, actually, the SCV count critically, Gretorp at 45 SCVs, PainUser at a mere 36. Income tab is about even, but you guys can see that harvester count is definitely going to make a difference. Right now, the only reason why PainUser is ahead is most likely because he's got his mules mining. But it matters not. Gretorp here making an attack. Now PainUser switching over to a siege tank as well. That can be effective if he gets it in a good position. He's got to be careful here, as this Marauder Force can definitely snipe out a command center very easily. The siege tank getting sniped right there. SCV is getting pulled off the line, but PainUser throws down a point defense drone. It is helping a little bit. Now it's out of energy. Gretorp falling back, and with proper micro, ooh, stimming there. Not sure if you wanted to use that. You really got to be careful with your forces not to overstim, because that can be a detriment in itself, as both players using the drugs to get away and speed up. But it looks like Gretorp, ooh, with a little bit of nice fancy micro, is going to win the battle. But he's still definitely ahead. So look at that income now, showing the difference, 2,000 over 1,700. Gretorp in a huge firm control of this game, and PainUser is going to have to make something happen, because Gretorp is now starting to mine the gold. And unless PainUser can attack one of these gold expansions or set up his own gold, which it looks like he's going to try to do right now, he's going to fall behind. So he's going to have to make something happen as this game progresses on. Army counts showing 77 for PainUser and 118 for Gretorp, so he's very far ahead right now. And I'm just wondering who this command center belongs to. It might actually be Gretorp's command center, possibly from another location floating in. Although I don't see the command center anywhere, so I'm not quite sure. Oh, it looks like, yeah, Gretorp moving an SCV there to construct it, so I didn't catch that. Now PainUser really needs to make something happen. He can't allow both golds to go up, and look at this, Gretorp moving in with his Marauders yet again. Luckily this time PainUser's got some Banshees. He should be able to clean this up with minimal losses. And yeah, the Marauders go down, so a little bit of a win there for PainUser, as he did switch to Banshees now. And he's going to move out with 3 Banshees and a Raven. It looks like he's going to move straight to the gold, and it's going to be his lucky day, as he sees that there is going to be an expansion here for him to snipe out a little bit. But he's going to be a bit disappointed when he sees how many workers are there saturated. Now the Banshee actually under attack from the Viking. This Viking needs to get to work on this Viking right here, or he could lose his Banshees. Point defense drone going down yet again, forcing the force to fall back. But really, all that stops is the Viking, and these Marauders don't really have any ground units to shoot at all. One Viking going down, the other Viking winning, so PainUser now is unopposed. He's got 3 Banshees that can just wail away on these Marauders. Nothing that Gretorp can do. And I'm not sure PainUser should be going for these Marauders. I think he should be going straight for this expansion right here. He needs to be careful about what he decides to do with his forces, because he's still far behind. As PainUser is floating a command center over to the 9 as well, trying to grab that, but he sees that there's another expansion there. Another Viking on Viking battle, but this one's getting repaired by a ton of SCVs, even though they're getting wailed on by, oh, both Vikings going down as a reinforcing Viking comes in. Just a huge game dependent on macro here, as a single reinforcement coming out of the buildings can really change the battle for your favor, as now PainUser is able to pull ahead and force the command center to actually lift off. I'm not sure what happened to this command center right here. It looks like, I don't know, I guess Gretorp might have just canceled it perhaps. And PainUser is now setting up an orbital command at the 9, so he is going to have a nice position. He's starting to actually make his way back into this game, because he was able to force Gretorp to fall back. Production tab showing Cloak being researched for Banshee as well. I do like that. Now PainUser is actually making a push up. He's going to have to be careful that he doesn't overextend himself, getting caught in a somewhat bad position here, as there's a much larger force. The Banshee's also getting focused down by the Vikings as well. And PainUser here, I think he's overextended himself, is going to take heavy casualties as he loses both his ground and his air, falling back with only a couple of Banshees in the red. So right there, not a good position for PainUser, as he kind of just threw away the advantage, what little advantage he had in that he crawled back in, has kind of been thrown away. And there we can see the command center that actually got lifted off right here. So I guess PainUser made a 2-pronged attack and forced that command center to lift off as well. Income tab showing both players about even, worker count starting to even up a little bit, as PainUser is actually grabbing this expansion down here as well. So it looks like it's going to be a 1, 2, 3 mining base Terran versus a about 3 mining base Terran as well. So it's about even, but efficiently mining right now. Gretorp's only mining off of 1 base really, as is PainUser. Another major attack going on here is Gretorp's got a much larger ground army, but critically there is a planetary fortress here and 2 Banshees which do have cloak. Comsat going down. Viking takes out 1 of the Banshees, but the 2 Vikings for PainUser clean that up, and the planetary fortress just racking up kills here. Look at that Congo line of SCVs forming a circle around the command center. The planetary fortress to repair that building up, and that is absolutely critical. Planetary fortresses are so powerful, especially when you got SCVs repairing it, that it's extremely difficult to take. And Gretorp, if he wants to win this game, it's going to come down to whether or not he can stop this expansion from mining, because that is a ton of mules mining minerals right now. 2,600, 2,700 minerals per minute. That is exactly what PainUser needs to do to get back in this game. Keep in mind this is gold as well, so those mules are being doubly effective. That's a lot of income right now for PainUser, and it's definitely something he needs, but he's still low on the gas. Look at that gas count for him, 70 to 1,000. So effectively all he can really do is get a bunch of Hellions or Marines. Meanwhile, supply count for Gretorp at 106, PainUser at 91, so Gretorp still with a bit of a larger army. I like how he sieged up on this watchtower, gonna give him some bigger range. Now another battle going on for this planetary fortress. Gretorp trying to make a push in. I think he might be able to, no, he's forced to fall back. I was gonna say he might have been able to snipe the planetary fortress, but 2 more tanks on PainUser's side gonna come in, and the 2 Banshees snipe off this siege tank as well. Now Gretorp once again forced to fall back. Wow, that's twice that PainUser has been able to hold that off. And you guys can see he's got so much minerals that he's just pumping straight Marines. And they're actually fully upgraded with 55 health and stim pack. Although they don't have any actual real upgrades where you can get +1 or +1. Gretorp though, seems like he's in the same position. No upgrades for his forces either. And this game is starting to get a little bit epic, as all Desert Oasis games usually become. Now Gretorp at 1. This one we won't count. 1, 2, and about to be a 3rd mining base, but PainUser looks like he's going to come in and knock on the door a little bit. Maybe deny this expansion one more time, as there's really no forces anywhere on the minimap to help defend this. So yeah, Gretorp losing several SCVs and is forced to lift off yet again. But I think he's going to try to go eye for an eye here and try to take this planetary fortress as well. And he's going to have to do it, because every time he loses this base mining, well, that's a big hit if he doesn't stop this base from mining. So he has sieged up 2 tanks, but critically PainUser has his own tanks right here as well. So that is going to make it very difficult for Gretorp to push in and take out this planetary fortress. PainUser now effectively mining out of 1, 2, 3 bases. Gretorp mining out of 1, 2, and it looks like he's sneaking an expansion up here, and if he wants to start saturating that, he will have a 3rd base as well, but he's lost the gold. So right now the income tab showing PainUser by and far large ahead. He's definitely ahead in the income, and so his macro is going to start to probably kick in here. Three Marauders here coming in to try to do some snipe action, but the SCVs pull off the line. Another massive battle going on over here as well, so both players really getting taxed on their multitasking, as Gretorp actually wins the battle here. But the question is, can he take out this planetary fortress? Looks like the 2 tanks also pushed ahead, and they died to Gretorp's army as well. So here is Gretorp's chance to siege up and start working this command center. He is in range, and the planetary fortress is starting to get hit. PainUser here is going to have to defend this. He definitely cannot afford to lose this planetary fortress. Both players comsatting here, as PainUser looks like he's going to try to snipe out that siege tank, and he does with his infantry. Great play there. And now that is going to buy his command center about a couple more minutes. And he's actually pushing in once again. Vikings forcing the land here. And it doesn't really matter. The Thor is just so strong. I think the Thor might be able to take out all of these forces by himself. That is how badass the Thor really is. And the easy thing is you can just get like 2 or 3 SCVs and repair it in about a minute. But meanwhile, look at this. What is going on? Huge action on the map, as PainUser actually lost his expansion down here as well. So I do apologize. I'm not catching everything, even though this is the 2nd time I've casted this. PainUser moving in here and has sniped out an expansion with his Marauders. That is how darn quick they are at sniping out buildings. Look at that. With stim pack and plus 20 damage to buildings, they can take out Raxes so easily. Gretorp here making a great counterattack. And that was definitely well worth it, even though he lost all of his forces. He killed 2 Raxes, I believe, as well as the command center right here. So he stopped all mining right there. And look at this, he's starting to push out with yet another force. And it's just both players trading back and forth huge armies. We haven't really seen the Terran player kind of bulk